This is easily one of the most awkward videos I can make, as this topic is generally associated with shame, guilt, and embarrassment. People aren't comfortable talking about this topic, but I at least recognize that I'm not the only one going through a porn addiction, and a lot of people don't know how to deal with it or what to think about it. What I'm doing in this video is sharing my own experience, describing what I think could have caused the problem, and what I think a solution could look like. And if this even helps one person, then this video will have been worth it. Around the time I was 10, I googled some things and I got caught, and I told myself I would never search for that sort of thing again. And I didn't until I hit puberty. When I was 15, my voice finally broke and new hormones were flooding through my body, and I started becoming curious about sex. One thing led to another, and I have access to the internet, so I started searching for it out of curiosity. In the beginning it wasn't that pleasurable, but I kept doing it and it started feeling better, and so a cycle began. Now, this is the most awkward part of my story, and the thing that I'm the most ashamed about. At this time I was infatuated with someone, and when scrolling through a website an image was appearing onto the screen that had a resemblance of them, and it was sexually suggestive, so my brain experienced in one short moment of time the most intense feeling I'd ever experienced. It was like a sexual awakening. The problem is, I was alone, staring at pixels on a screen. This created a ridge in my brain that goes so deep that since then I've been unable to separate infatuation from sexuality. My brain starts jumping to conclusions all the time and I don't control it. Also, I've tried to chase that feeling again and again, all the time, and it's like I'm a cocaine addict trying to chase the first euphoric high. The ridge of my brain is so slippery that anything associated with sex will encourage my brain to go on the path of chasing that high again, and it keeps trying to replicate me staring at a screen watching porn, instead of forming an actual bond with a human being. Since I hit puberty, I've spent hundreds of hours watching porn and masturbating, so the longest I've gone without it was maybe 3 weeks, which means that my body never ever got used to having a high amount of testosterone, which regulates your sexuality. So recently I've been learning about semen retention and NoFap, and the claimed benefits of having more testosterone. One of them is for muscle growth, which I find easy to believe, but another is for the feelings of attraction. It is claimed that after millions of years of evolution, males with higher levels of testosterone were more attractive, as it was a sign of fertility, and we still have pheromonal instincts built into us to detect these hormones. I'm not a scientist, so take everything I say with a pinch of salt. In August this year, about 3 months ago, I started to take NoFap and no porn seriously, but after 2 weeks I relapsed. So I thought, okay, I'll just try again. But then around 2 weeks later, I relapsed again. I didn't think much about it, let's get back on track. And then a third time 2 weeks later, and a fourth time around 2 weeks later. At this point I noticed a pattern, and associated it with my body and brain not being able to handle higher amounts of testosterone. So I prepared myself mentally for the next 2 weeks that would come up. But despite noticing the pattern, I still fell into the same habit. What happens is that most of my brain is active for 2 weeks, noticing what to do and what not to do. And what to do and what not to do, but after 2 weeks I start going down a slope, the same slope I've been going down again and again. The habit starts with a thought, but thoughts can be intrusive and happen involuntarily. The problem is when I let a thought become an action, like opening an incognito tab in Google Chrome to search something out of curiosity, which always, inevitably, never fails to make me relapse, as this is what my brain has become accustomed to for over 8 years. I don't know anything else, really. Even though I've recognized this pattern, most of my brain fails to notice clarity after 2 weeks. The voices in my head that remind me to stop seem to disappear, and the only parts of my brain that are active in those moments are the ones that justify another relapse. I could have been on 90 days now without watching any porn or masturbation if I didn't have those relapses. I've managed to reduce my consumption by a lot, but I haven't broken the habit. It still governs my life in a way that I wish it didn't. There is a barrier around a 2-week mark that I just need to push through. My solution right now is a contract with a financial penalty for relapsing, signed by me and witnessed by my friends. And I hope to reach a point of mental clarity that current no-fap gurus seem to claim. I hope to break free from the chains of this addiction, which has kept me down for 8 years. And I hope that anyone out there, can break free from these chains too. Thanks for watching.